It is surprisingly still morning. It feels like it's been a long morning. Welcome to a vlog, by the way. I am hoping to read, but we'll see where that gets me. And this morning has been a bit diabolical in the sense that we have had three outfit changes and it's not even midday. So we are going strong today and he is a Mr. Fuss. So I will talk to you soon about what I'm reading and what's left on my TBR because I actually don't remember. Here you see we have outfit 3, the nappies and the change table mat that I had to change because he peed all over it, and my dressing gown which I had to very quickly shed because yeah, he was also peeing on it, so that was a good time. His socks say beep beep though, they are so cute, I can't get over it. We are now in the bedroom and this is outfit number 2 and 3, and a change table that has not been sullied, but a nappy bin that is overflowing. There is just constantly stuff with a baby. Yeah, you tell him. I'm sorry you're getting me on my phone, but I just have not had the chance to go and get the camera because of this one. He's having not a great day, so we're trying to make it better. I think he's teething, which seems early, but I guess 3 months and onwards is when it happens. Anyway, I can now finally sit down because it has been an intense morning and tell you what I'm reading, which is shock horror, the same book that I've been reading for the entire month of October, which is killing me inside because I love this book and I really want to have it finished, and that is The Will of the Many, and I am over a third into it. I'm 38% and I've just done a bit more reading this morning, although I've only just picked it up and I thought now would also be a good time to film because he is rather quiet. So I'm reading that book. I'm loving the academy setting all over again, and it's a Roman-inspired fantasy story, so it's quite cutthroat and intense. Everyone who sends their kids to that particular academy is established in the political society outside of the academy, so all of the relationships that people forge at the academy really build the political future of this particular hierarchy, which is the ruling force, the conquerors. So I'm fascinated by seeing all of the politics all over again because now I can kind of understand it a bit more, especially on my second time round. Like the first time round I understood it as well, but obviously now I know how the book ends, so I know the family names and everything now, so it's hitting a bit more close to home reading it again because obviously things are a bit more familiar to me. So I'm really enjoying it, obviously, and I'm just loving that VIDS, who is the main character, even though he's 18 years old, well, he's going to turn 18, but he wants to escape the hierarchy before he does. Otherwise, he has to cede to the magic system in here, which is like a pyramid scheme magic system based on power. So you have to cede to the people who sit higher in the pyramid than you. And if you do, then you are forced into this, I guess, structure of society for the rest of your natural life. And your life is very much depleted because you're spending all of your energy to this hierarchy. It's like the magic system is sucking out your will and your motivation and your aspirations. So it's such a fascinating foundation for a magic system. And I also love that VIDS is so aware of himself and he's like, I really know that I should go this way in this social situation, but this is the kind of person that I am. God's damn my anger, because he goes the opposite direction than he should. And that means that he's pretty much committed social suicide and he's now got to understand and deal with the ramifications of doing that, but morally it's what he preferred to do. So I just like that he went with his morals rather than with what he necessarily should be doing as a spy. So it's already great, and we've been introduced to Calidus, which is awesome because he's such a clever, like, underdog sidekick character and I really like him. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of their interactions as the book, you know, obviously progresses. So it's a great time, and thankfully now that this one is a bit more settled and a bit happier and asleep, thankfully, I have a bit more time up my sleeve to read. I am hungry, but my goodness, I am not going to stand up because this one, you never know if he's going to wake up and I don't want him to be upset. So apparently I'm just going to think fondly of snacks and food while I sit on my butt. And also the washing is just finished, so I can't get that out and put it in a dryer, which is kind of torturing me because I know it's like just there, but it's just too much for me to get up and do. So frustrating, but at least I can make the most of it because my Kindle was within reach, so I could do some reading and then I'll get back to you later. Good afternoon, or actually Good evening. It is, yeah. He's got a lot to say. Okay, that was his vlog. Welcome back to my vlog, and it's 5 o'clock in the evening. I managed to get to the shops today and pick up some extra clothes for Mr. Growing Boy, huh? Which is just a feat getting out of the house, because I was up with him pretty much. Do you know measurement? Do you know the concept of time? Oh, every 1.5 hours last night, and I don't know who I am anymore. We're going through a bit of a rough patch, but it's fine. It will blow over. He's a baby. He's got to sleep at some point. He might disagree on that. I actually, surprise, surprise, managed to do a bit more reading of The Will of the Many, which is pretty incredible, right? Right? So I'm very, very proud and very lucky that I managed to get some of that read, and I'm starting to panic because I need to read that by the end of October, and it's currently, what, the 14th of October now, so I've got like 2 weeks left to read the rest, which I'm not okay about. Anyway, I better go and feed the hungry little monster. I'm back. I also forgot, I think I forgot to mention that I read this morning, which was a surprise, but I think I said that because I told you I got to like 44% of The Will of the Many, not 42, 44. And then we also went for a really nice walk, and we got some delicious stuff at the bakery. So it was a good morning, even though it felt quite intense. Like, as soon as you think you've got a handle on parenting, it throws you for 6 again. And while I am loving it, I also would really love a little bit more sleep. Like, some of the hours, the fact that they were spaced so far apart from each other just kind of killed me last night. But, you know, it's not going to be that way forever, like I said. So hopefully even tonight I get a couple of grouped hours. Usually I get like a 4-hour stretch and then a bit of a break and then a 2 to 3 hour stretch. And honestly, that's pretty good for his age and for him in general. So I'm hoping that that happens again tonight, because I just really need to catch up. If not, I'm going to be doing a lot of naps, and I don't know how that's going to go for my actual reading, because I don't even know how many pages I've got left of the book. I should probably check and let you know, but it doesn't feel like it's close to over, especially because I'm not even halfway. So I am again starting to panic. I also talked about my TBR earlier in this video, and I realized I haven't shown you yet, but it's been very hard because he doesn't really want to be put down. He's having a very fussy week. So usually I'd film stuff when he's asleep or when Dave has him, but obviously Dave's working full time, so I can't always give him over. So it's just been a little bit difficult, like I said, but it's okay. It is what it is. There is stuff piling up. The house is getting dirty. I am climbing the walls. But that's why we went for a walk today, because getting out in the fresh air was so, so nice. So here's to more reading, and cross your fingers that it happens. It needs to happen. Good morning. It is indeed Thursday, and guiltily I say that I didn't vlog at all yesterday, except to film a little clip in the car on the way to a workout class, my box fit class, which showed my fear and regret. And I thought, this is a mistake because I am only 3 months postpartum, but I would like to report that I did the class, well, some of the class, and it was a success. And today I'm very sore. So I'm very much getting back into exercising, which is something that I was really looking forward to in theory. In reality, I'm like, now I'm tired and sore, but I feel good. So at least that's a positive. And then another positive is that I am 50% into this book, and that still makes me fearful because I've got a lot to go, and I've got an appointment this morning and then a mother's group later today. And it's not usually on a Thursday, but it's our last one. So yeah, it's a busy day. Tomorrow I don't think I've got anything on, which is great because it means I can just hang out with the little baby who's right here and, you know, hopefully read some more. I really wanted it to be a stay in bed day, but that's not going to happen. And it's going to be the first like quite warm day that we've got of spring. So I'm just bracing myself for that warmth, because as much as I like warm weather, I like the air conditioner, don't I, Papa? Yeah. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge going out in the middle of the day when it's going to be the hottest part of the day. Good morning, it is Friday and oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. I started recording and immediately forgot, so you know, my brain, 10 out of 10. But I'm now over halfway of The Will of the Many and I'm so proud of that fact because we're just over halfway into October. It's the 16th today. So it feels like I'm kind of like quote unquote on track in terms of wanting to finish it before the end of October. I don't know how that's going to go realistically, and I still haven't looked up the amount of pages left. So if I do that off camera, maybe I can put it on the screen and tell you how many pages I have right now, because I just really need to figure out how to really read faster. Because if I'm taking notes, like that's fine, but at the same time it slows down my reading. But it also has the added benefit of taking in extra detail that I just kind of glossed over in the first read through. You know how you just read a fantasy and like let everything absorb into you regarding the world building and everything, but this time I've actually got to specifically note things down. So I'm noticing little things like something just happened that Viz went to some ruins and heard this chant, and words from that chant were mentioned in the opening chapters by a particular character. So I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I did kind of get that the first time through, but not super directly. So it's just nice to see things a little more solidified in this reread. I'm obviously loving it. It's still a 5-star book, so thank goodness. And probably The Strength of the Few is my most anticipated release of the entire year. A couple of times now, it's so silly, a few times now I've been reading on my Kindle, right? And obviously I've got my baby in my arms, and usually he's feeding, sometimes he's asleep, but when he's feeding, he's so wiggly now. So a couple of times he's gone, and he's actually like swiped my Kindle and turned my pages, which is just so ridiculous. Sometimes too, when I'm on my phone, I might be like scrolling Instagram or something and he'll just scroll for me as well, just because his hands are going like this and it just whoop onto my phone or onto my Kindle. Anyway, I was just reading and I'm at now 57%, so we are making progress today. And he's swiped and it skipped my page and I'm like, excuse me, boy, I'm not done. Anyway, that's something I didn't realize I would have to contend with while reading with my son. Regardless, I am obviously enjoying the book, but now because we're in the second half, there's a bit more, I want to say action happening, but the first part had its own share of action as well. Actually, I don't know if the sound is any good on this clip because I'm filming on my phone and he's playing with his toy that's very clinky, so maybe I'll talk to you properly a little bit later, but I guess I've said really what I wanted to say. Second half is excellent, more action is excellent, and I'm having a really good time, and I'm trying to finish this faster than October is finishing, so whether that happens, we'll see. I doubt it will happen in this vlog, so I'm not hoping to finish this book in this vlog because currently it's Friday, so I would then have to finish the book in 2 days. That won't happen. So I'm aiming to finish it maybe mid next week. That still seems like it's out of my scope of possibility. I'm over here being too ambitious, I think. It is now Friday afternoon at around 3 o'clock, and I went out, did some errands. Little boy is now here off camera, wide awake, so I'll see how I go with timing. He might interrupt me because he's hungry, but he's been asleep for a while and he's got the biggest smile, so he seems like he's in a good mood. And I thought it would be the perfect time to actually talk about my TBR. Yeah, because I mentioned it earlier and I haven't had a moment to talk about it. And so my cart usually has my physical to be read pile on it, and you'd notice that there's not really anything on there of note, and that's because the ones that I want to read are Saga volumes 11 and 12, and it just looks a bit silly to have these two spines as the only thing on my to be read cart. And this is a science fiction / fantasy graphic novel series about two characters from either sides of warring planets, and on the front lines they meet, they fall in love, they have a baby, and now they're on the run because this baby is like a political message without meaning going to be, that these two nations can actually cohabitate together after years and years of propaganda and war against each other. So it's a fascinating series. It's very, again, cutthroat and dark, but it also has moments of levity. The art is incredible, and I'm really hoping that these two volumes just stand up to my expectations. I do want to reread all of the other volumes first before I read this, because I feel like there are going to be side characters that I just have forgotten about because I haven't read the series in a while. It went on a bit of a hiatus, and now obviously it's very much back. So that is what I want to do, but whether I have time to actually read a book that's not my Kindle might not be possible yet. So I'm really not sure. Or I'll just go, you know what, I'm just gonna dive into these two and just white knuckle it and see if I remember anything. That sounds chaotic enough for me to do, so I think that checks out. And then the other things that I've got on my to be read pile are really not that much. It's only 2 books. So one of them is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is quickly becoming my favorite romance author, and I honestly don't know what Just for the Summer is about, but it feels like it's getting into the right warm weather for me to listen to it. And in the past, Abby Jimenez has just completely destroyed me, in the best way, of course, but me thinking about that book and being postpartum and hormones going wild and being sleep deprived, I'm like, I'm gonna cry and I don't want to. Yeah, so that is what I'm thinking about this book, and I don't know when I'm gonna pick it up, but it is an audio, so I should be able to do it fairly easily if I, you know, dedicate some time to it. So that is the only romance on my TBR. And then I've also got The Outcast Mage, and I feel like I've talked about this very minimally but consistently across the year, because this was a January release for 2025 and I still haven't read it, and that makes me feel pretty stupid pretty incompetent, the fact that I haven't read my to be read pile for months on end, and I'm usually pretty good at clearing my to be read pile, so that is a bit embarrassing. I know it's about a magical school, and I know it's a debut author, so I think that is why I've got a bit of trepidation, because debut authors don't always hit home for me, but this one had promise, and that's why I ordered it on Audible. So again, I've got it on audiobook. These are my only 2 physical reads, which is upsetting me because I'm like, oh, I want more like physical books to show. And I realized that I'm going to have some more soon, with obviously The Strength of the Few coming out in November. And then I thought, hang on a second, there's another book coming out in November. Like literally on the same day that The Strength of the Few comes out, this one, well, the sequel to this one comes out as well. And for the life of me, I can't remember what the sequel is called, but I have pre-ordered it. So again, I also have that one on audiobook, but I will probably buy the physical book because I know that Dave wants to read the sequel as well because he enjoyed this one. So I've got a couple of things coming through for the end of the month. I don't know if there's anything else really that I want to buy or get. There's probably a few books from Libby maybe, but again, that's the library, and I doubt that would be physical because it's not as easy for me to get up and go places. I think I'd better go now because this little one is getting a bit fussy, so he's reached his limit of mama filming. So I better go, but that is my TBR essentially. So it's not very big, and I'd love to add some more fantasy titles, but I'm finding fantasy really hard to nail lately in terms of my tastes. It seems like romantasy is the big new wave, and it's not necessarily what I want to read. I love the epic fantasy, maybe with a fantasy or maybe with a romance subplot rather than like a distinct romantasy story. But anyway, if you have any recommendations, let me know. I'm also into sci-fi. Obviously, I like romance as well. So yeah, let me know. But I gotta go. Okay, bye. Guess what? It's now Saturday and I am 60%, maybe 61% into this book now. Obviously on my Kindle, but I'm just holding this up so I don't have to put the image of the cover in. And it just got to a part where this is a very, very minor part. So it's not a spoiler, basically, if I tell you. And Viz has just found an alupi, which is a wolf, and it's a cub, so an alupi cub. And it was injured, and he's gone, oh, I better help it. He was going to initially kill the animal for food, but instead he's gone, I should probably help it. And so he gave it a bit of fish that he had just cooked on a fire, and that made it trust him. But before he did that, he went to like pat it or go near it, and it bit him, and he's like, it's a wild animal. I don't know what I expected. So I just like the fact that it was almost a nod without being a nod to main characters having an affinity with animals from the get-go, whereas this animal was a stressed animal in defensive mode and Viz approached it. So what do you think it's going to do? Obviously it's going to attack him. So the fact that he saved it and then wrapped it in his cloak, I was like, oh, the little Alupi cub. It just reminds me of the character Night Eyes in the Robin Hobb series, and I just love that character so much. So any mention of wolves or dogs or anything in fantasy books have a special place in my heart, so that's why I wanted to mention it. We've also had quite a busy day, so we've only just really been home the past like hour, 2 hours. We were out all of the morning, we went shopping, we just hung out, had lunch, and Dave is hanging out with the boy right now, which is why I'm able to do this update in front of my bookshelves, which is like something that barely ever happens at the moment. So I'm very excited to be sitting in this spot with the book in front of the camera, like huzzah. And then tomorrow we've got a cake and coffee event with some family and extended family, so it's going to be a big family event in the afternoon. So I don't know if I'm going to read any more of this, so maybe I should probably just end the vlog here, to be honest, because I'm at a great point with this and I'm really happy with where it's progressing. I know I started the week with the boy in not a great mood, but he's been much better as the week progressed. So like I said, babies grow, they're just doing their thing, and my mood has obviously lifted as well because I'm getting through this. The week is looking up, the sun has come out, it's not so gloomy anymore. Spring here has been really cold, but there have been a few nice and summery days, so we've been able to open the windows and like get the fresh air in, and it really just does wonders for the mood. So I am in a great place right now. That could change in an hour and then again in another hour, who knows. But that was the end of this particular vlog. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far. Maybe leave some blue heart emojis in the comments for me, but thank you again so much for watching my foray into trying to reread this as fast as humanly possible for me. I'll talk to you in the comments and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.